Tonight, the Orange Democratic Movement Party is investigating an ugly incident that saw Rowdy MCA's ejected Executive Director Margaret Lagat from the party's headquarters. The problem comes in the backdrop of disturbing events where parties have kicked out officials for simply expressing dissenting opinions, which begs the question, where does one draw the line between freedom of expression and loyalty in the party? And can democracy carry the day as parties navigate this political minefield? Of course, it's not ODM only, but they have been in the headlines excuse me, lately. I'll get some of your responses first. Somebody here says, Karanja from Kabete, party democracy is a fallacy. Parties have their owners, hawks hanging on the coattails of the owners, and gullible fanatic followers who hold politicians to ransom. Reverend Jomo from Westlands, tolerance is key to harmonious working relationship, but excessive unilateral rule can be dictatorial. However, all party affiliates should know this gem of wisdom: never ever cut a branch that you're sitting on unless you are to be hanged from it. And finally, here on 2242, I can't believe that ODM fined each offending MCA should have been fined 100,000. Of course, talking about the 100,000 fine for the 11 MCAs who ejected Margaret Lagat. In studio tonight, on my right is Opiyo Wandayi, who's the MP Ugunja, member of ODM, and also the other member of ODM on my left is MP Kisumu Central Kenabura. Thank you so much both for making time for the big question. I'll start with that final SMS we got there. What do you think? Let me start with Honorable Wandayi. What do you think of the penalty issued by ODM today?
Well, I don't want to speculate really on the matter because, as you are aware, the party has taken a decision. And the decision was taken after deliberations within the party's National Executive Committee. So I believe the decision was made after considerable debate and analysis of the facts as they were.
Okay, let me get Kenabura.
I think,
and as we look at those clips as well.
Okay, thank you, Hussein. I think the decision that the party made this afternoon was obviously not necessary to begin with, because what happened was a criminal offense. It was an assault on Margaret, and that's a criminal offense. Obviously the neck of ODM is not a court of law, and therefore I think this matter should just be left with the police and the courts of law should deal with it. After all, Hussein, do you think the cost of ejecting Margaret, roughing him up and attacking him would be about 9,900 if that was anything to go by?
I don't think really that what the party did is to suggest that it is kind of stopping the law to take its course. The party was basically acting because these were party members who had disagreements in the party precincts, and therefore the party had to take a decision, really. That does not stop the police from proceeding with the matter, really.
But what did you make of it? And as we answer that, if we can look at those clips again, what happened last Thursday at ODM headquarters, Orange House. What did you make of what happened to Margaret Lagat?
You know, there is really no need of belaboring the point. The incident was unfortunate, and we came out strongly to condemn it. And the party leader came out very strongly indeed to condemn that action that was taken by the MCS.
Right.
And therefore, really, to dwell on it is to miss the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Although there are some MPs who are quick to say he almost got what he deserved, because the party leader has condemned this. But some MPs are saying you don't go around calling, saying you need changes in the party and the party is dead. Let me get Honorable Obura's response to that.
Obviously, I think on that point we agree with my colleague Wandayi that what happened was truly unfortunate. But the decision of the party, the NEC, to fine them 100,000, I think it's just a mockery of the whole thing. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think the party should have done more in terms of discipline. They should have done more, because these are in fact elected leaders. Some of them are nominated leaders within this great party called ODM, and we cannot just allow them to do those barbaric things. Those are things of the past.
Right.
Yes.
We're asking tonight where do you draw the line between freedom of expression and loyalty to the party.
Okay.
Okay, you want to go?
I'll take it up.
Yeah.
You know, Hussein, in a multi-party setting such as ours, one joins a particular political party as a matter of choice. Indeed, when one joins a political party, he's supposed to support the policies and programs of that particular party.
Yeah.
And more so, if you happen to have been elected on the ticket of that particular party, you are obliged to propagate the agenda of that party. And therefore, that does not necessarily mean that one cannot disagree with the party position at any given time. One can disagree, and that is expected in democracy. But the point is that that disagreement must be expressed in a manner that respects the party's institutions, the party's internal organs and structures. What we are saying, and what I believe most of our party members are saying, is that we cannot have a situation where party members and party elected leaders go out in the open and disagree with the party, indeed disparage the party and its leadership. That is not acceptable in any democracy.
Thank you, Hussein. I think it is important to note, one, that party discipline is a must.
Right.
And it is important that any member of the party, more so the elected leaders, it is important that they actually respect and uphold the party policies, ideology, interests and programs. But when is a position a party position, for example? And I'm happy that my colleague here is raising this. I want to give you an example. Just a few months ago, you will remember that I had a censure motion on the CS for internal security, or Lelenko.
Yeah.
And it had gone to the floor, and it was just awaiting a few processes before it could be debated. Then 2 hours later, I watch in the media saying that my party has actually withdrawn that motion without consulting. So what I'm asking is, what we are saying here is that a party position should be a position that is developed through consultations with the relevant organs, communicated through the right channels.
Does that happen with you?
That does not happen. A lot of times, it happens the other way around. But when it is properly done, like the Okoa Kenya thing was properly, communicated to us. Yeah. We sat down and we agreed. The next day, all the members of parliament, they were in their villages and in their constituencies, selling the idea.
So you're not necessarily consulted?
Of course.
Okay. Of course. I must disagree with my friend, Honorable Obura, on this matter. Once you belong to a political party and recognize its structures and systems and leadership, you must at times agree that leadership can make decisions on your behalf.
That is okay. At times, not all the times.
Exactly.
But let me ask you, on a matter like this, where I have my own motion, which of course has been endorsed and is supported by the party, obviously the party has a lot of say, and they can actually choose to withdraw it. Isn't it not right to just call the move of the motion to say, in view of the following, we think it is not necessary to proceed with it, and therefore we are doing this.
Right.
I think what we may have to look at, considering the fact that the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, of course, provides for this freedom of expression, we may have to go back and look at this Political Parties Act and see if this freedom, this party loyalty is now being equated to sycophancy, which can be very dangerous if that is the case. Because remember, the freedom of expression is actually a constitutional issue. It is in the Constitution, and that is supreme, that is superior to any other, thinking or decision or law,
Right.
Yes.
Honorable Undai has raised an issue here saying, why do people like you, what you're saying now, why don't you raise these issues at the party or with the right structures within ODM, and you go out and speak, in other platforms? Why don't you speak?
You want to answer why I would do that?
Yes, I will answer. I will answer.
You'll answer for him?
I will not for him.
But I can speculate for me.
But I'll give you a perspective.
Okay, but he'll come to answer that.
Let me ask you. Let me tell you something here, Hussein. These channels, the problem we have here is that this Political Parties Act and this loyalty thing, apparently to a few, is just about the party top brass. The party belongs to everybody, from the top brass all the way to the grassroots, as long as you are a member. So members must also be treated fairly. Look at the other day, just about 3-4 weeks ago, we see one of our principals in a rally on a Sunday, saying that on Tuesday, all our members of parliament will not be attending that session when the president will be, addressing the parliament before he goes to The Hague.
Yeah.
How? Where was this decision made? How was it communicated? And so, is it a party position, or is it a decision that somebody makes because he's in a crowd and is excited and is overwhelmed by the reception he's getting?
Okay.
Well, I won't dwell on that again.
Yes.
But the point here, Hussein, is that as members of parliament, we have got very, very serious platforms within the party. One of them is the parliamentary group, through which we can channel our views and opinions. But having said that, I want us to disabuse ourselves of this notion that these members of parliament or leaders who are going out to contradict the party are doing so out of some values, some values of democracy or freedom.
Yeah.
Not at all. The point is that the ordinary membership of the party has got no problem with the leadership. What is happening is that some few leaders, some few people who have been elected on the party's ticket,
Yes.
is kind of a way of seeking rent. It's a rent-seeking strategy. What I mean, Hussein, is that certain leaders elected on the party's ticket, when they want to be noticed by the other side,
you mean Jubilee?
What they would do is to attempt to be seen as opposing the party, and more so its leadership.
So people are like, what they do is for the government to notice
it's a strategy to be noticed so that you can up the stakes.
And because of time,
that is the bottom line.
To respond to that, I want to quote what you said recently, and already people have criticized you because of this. If I can quote you, you said, and I quote, "We must work out ways that will make us be part of government, either as number 2 or any other number from now and beyond 2017. You said again, we must change tact. As young leaders, we may not have the patience of our forefathers in seeking these services, that is government services, that come with being in government."
Yes. Let me put it, in fact, this has quoted me correctly. This is exactly what I said.
Yes.
I said that today we have 2 levels of government. We have the national government and the county government. So far, only about 15% of the national revenue has been devolved to the county government.
Right.
And in fact, that's the reason why we are going for the referendum, to have it increased to 45%. So we are saying that 85% is still with the national government. What is hard in working with the national government as so far as development is concerned? Because after all, remember, one, we are, and I was talking about our region, we are part of this country, we pay taxes. So I was just asking my people, please just welcome the president as he comes to help initiate, development from the national, government. And then on that again, I said from 2017 and beyond, as a region, we must change tact and we must ensure that we are always in government. Whether we are number 1 or 2 or 3, and this to me, Hussein, is very important, and I can say it anywhere, and I will always repeat it, because the reason why political parties are formed is to capture power. You don't necessarily capture power by being number 1 or number 2 or number 3.
That thinking is really strange, in my view. Hussein, as rightly put by my friend Ken Obura, political parties exist to capture and retain power. But it's not just power for the sake of it. That must be understood. But then, having said that, the thinking that one must be in the national government for one to benefit from the national government sources is really a hangover of the one-party state, which must really be discarded. Why I say this is, as we speak, we as court control the majority of the counties. We have got about 24 counties that we control. Indeed, one of them
that is general
one
information.
Of them is Nairobi County.
Hussein,
one of them.
He's talking about specifically 85%.
85% at the national level. So I think this fallacy that we control 24 counties and therefore we are in government, that's not enough. We are talking about the national government.
I wasn't ending there.
Yes.
What I was saying is this. Beside the 24 counties that we control at the county level, we also have a stake in the national government resources. Indeed, what we have been fighting for over the years is to ensure that there are systems that ensure that resources at the national level are distributed equitably, whether you are in the government or not.
Hussein, let me ask you. That is well said. Then the next question somebody should ask one day, if he insists on this argument, is that then why are we looking for presidency ourselves? if after all the constitution gives all the regions equitable distribution of power, then do we need to look for this presidency?
We don't look. We don't look for presidency
apart from that,
to benefit at the disadvantage of the rest of the country.
Let him respond. Yeah.
Apart from that, Hussein, I think it is important for my colleague and those who think like him to understand that we cannot be monolithic in thinking. In fact, these things you call party policies, these manifestos, these ideologies, they are developed through debates.
No,
you cannot debate.
Okay.
You cannot debate if you are if you don't have divergent views. In fact, my fear is, Hussein, if we are not careful, there are those who will leave Parliament without any Kenyan knowing ever
what they
actually think. Because I don't know what Wandai himself has ever thought about.
Now,
let
me respond, my friend Ken Obura. We are not fighting to get to power so that it benefits us as members of the party to the exclusion of the rest of the country. What we are fighting for is to capture power so that we can use that power to enhance democracy and development in the country.
And as you answer that,
equitably.
And as you answer that, he's talking about, and his ilk, some like Ken Obura have talked about changing tact. You've tried to capture power as a party through 3 times, I believe now. He's talking about changing tact. Don't you think that is necessary?
Let me explain to you. You know, we in ODM, if I now down to ODM, you know, ODM, first of all, is a movement. And that movement, and it's a movement that embodies the spirit, the aspirations, and the hopes of millions of Kenyans.
Belongs to the past.
Millions of Kenyans who are yearning for democracy, freedom, and equitable distribution of resources.
Right. Is there a need to change tax? Like
I will not answer that. I think
as a political organization, we change tact on almost every single day. And indeed, there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee that one strategy is key to succeeding. And therefore, as a political party, we continue to review our strategy on a continuous basis.
Okay.
Thank you. I think I want to say something there. I heard my brother talk about hangover of of one party state.
Hangover.
You know, my generation, my age, we don't even know those single party things. We read them in history. I mean, by the time Kanu was coming into power the last time, I was not able to vote. So I really don't know about those hangovers. Maybe he does because, you know. But I think we must change from this, you know, talking about, you know, the things he's saying. You know, we can still not believe at this time that you go to your constituency to take the greetings from the party leader.
Right.
Those are unnecessary politics.
A question to you then.
Yes.
A question to you.
Yes.
He's alluded to it when he was talking that what people like you do is become rebels so that you're noticed by the other side.
Yes.
Is that what you do, number one? And number two, when you're talking about needing to have services, government services brought closer to you, ODM as a party has support, has MPs who are supporting it, has grassroots support. Where are you getting this notion that people are not getting these services? Is it really about you?
Which services?
The services you're talking about, you're saying there's need to change tax. Is this about you, or is it about the people really?
Let me tell you something. One, on your first question, we are not rebels. In fact, this term rebels is a term that has been coined by those who believe that if Wandai is vying for a position in ODM and you don't support him, you support the other side, you are a rebel. Okay? So that has been coined. Two, and therefore, this notion of, you know, talking so that you are noticed. Hussein, at my age and at my position, I am allowed and free to speak my mind.
Right.
Okay.
But is this about Ken Obura as a person, or is it about the people?
It's about the people. I am sure, just a minute, I am sure that if you noticed, for example, if you look at what happened at the botched elections of ODM in January, February, you will realize that, you know, the party delegates were thinking differently from what the Wandais were thinking.
Let me tell you.
Is that not good enough to show you where the people are?
Finally, because you're winding up, we've completely run out of time. You'll give me both your final comments on this, and as I ask you, we know where you come from. And the notion has been you cannot really go against the grain. It's not only you and not only ODM, but some of these parties in this country. Where does this put you? Where people term you as rebels, people term you as moles. Where does this put you, even in Nyanza politics? Are you scared when you talk like this?
If we were scared, then we would not be talking. And remember, we are talking for the good of the party. Because we know if we do things the same way we have been doing them, then we are headed nowhere. And that's why we are also giving an input in terms of our thinking and our ideas, which of course, a few cliques who are hell-bent on ensuring that they take charge, they remain in charge of the party, even if it means the party remains about 10 of them. They don't care as long as they are in charge, which is very dangerous.
Right, final.
Hussein, let me tell you, as politicians, as political leaders, we know one another very well. And therefore, the difference to one as a mole does not just happen out of the blues. If you hear one being referred to as a mole, there are telltale signs that point to the fact that he's actually a mole or a project of some forces which are hell-bent to destroy the party from within and from outside. And therefore, what we are saying,
let me tell you,
discipline in the party is
let me tell you, Hussein,
and finally,
those who brand them, others,
loyalty to the party is not negotiable. It's really not something we talk about.
But Hussein, as we finish,
finally, yes.
I want to say that loyalty is not sacrifice. In fact, I think in the future, we must actually declare this political sacrifice a national disaster. Because it is.
Okay, we have.
If we are not careful, because, I mean, if you want something, and the others are opposing it, then you are branded a mole. I mean, if
of course
90% of all elected leaders in ODM are today moles.
Gentlemen, I have to wind it up there.
Yes.
Kisumu Central MP Ken Obura and Ugunja MP Opio Wandai, and we're talking about party loyalty. Where does one draw the line between freedom of expression and party loyalty? We'll be back after this short break.